Is on.
Cool.
Go.
Okay, so what we're going to be talking today about is looping, which is basically what I sent you in this folder are a bunch of just small little musical segments that you can. What they're really great at is they immediately just kind of sound nice. So you can just like throw them into your DAW and you can just like repeat them forever and they just kind of sound like music. They're not necessarily anything that like, you came up with, but they're going to sound good regardless. So I kind of wish Cartier was here because he's like an expert at this. This is something I do a little bit. Who here has messed with loops before? Who here has kind of played around? Yeah, Nora, Nathan, Tim, I know you have. You played around with loops. Josiah, you have too. What do what is it like working with loops versus, composing? What is it? How does it feel different?
Hey, can we all? I just want to interject one thing, just for the purposes of speeding up the conversation. Could we all just turn our microphones on? If we're all waiting, we're waiting 3 or 4 seconds. It breaks up the rhythm of the conversation. Just put your microphones on. We can have a conversation.
That's fair.
I'm like this super noob here and be like, can you define what a loop is?
You know what? Let's just do this. I'm going to share my screen. Let's just jump right into it.
I think a definition could be just a short section of music that you obtain from somewhere else that someone else has performed or composed that you have licensed somehow to use in your own music, and that usually loops or repeats. That's a definition, and it's used in DAWs specifically.
I think that's a good definition. It's really similar to samples. Have you heard of sampling, AJ?
Maybe.
So sampling is just where you take a pre-recorded piece of music and then you manipulate it and make it your own thing, basically. I'm going to show, in this folder here, let me move this thing out of the way. In this folder here, I have folders designated for these different kinds of loops. So we have harmonic ones, which kind of are like chord progressions, different instruments playing harmonies, basically. We have melodic ones, which are sort of what they sound like. They're mostly single melodic lines and not so much chords. Rhythmic things, which a lot of loops are rhythmic because having a drum that sounds really good and groovy is kind of tricky. So it's nice to have a lot of drum samples and loops to pull from. And then I put sound effects in here, which are almost worthless. So we'll see if we even touch those. So what they look like, notice, by the way, Koi loops 80 beats per minute. That means that all of these are set to 80 beats per minute. You can manipulate that, but I would say for the sake of ease, create a new project in your respective DAWs.
Okay.
Right now in real time. I think everyone should just kind of have this up and going. And you're going to find where your beats per minute is located.
Or tempo, right.
Yep, your tempo, exactly. And you're going to change it to 80 just to make it easy. And if anyone is lost at this moment, that's fine. Ask someone for help in the chat if you don't know where to locate it or if you don't know how to plug it in.
And these are all 4/4 time.
Yes, these are all 4/4.
Great.
Yes. In the pop world, that's just a given. That's like the sky is blue. It's in 4/4. Okay, so AJ, to answer your question, this is what a loop looks like. I'm going to grab one and I'm just going to play them out loud. So 12 seconds of music, not really a song, right? But I can import it, and Apple makes it super easy. You can literally click and drag it into your DAW. So if you have Logic or GarageBand, you should just be able to click and drag. I don't know how Cakewalk or how are you Cakewalk people doing? Are you able to click and drag?
What did you use, harmonic or melodic or?
Oh, you know what? Importantly, everyone should just pick something that they like. So actually take 30 seconds and click around and find a cool harmonic thing.
Okay.
We should probably do that with their mics off.
Oh, that's a good point. Thank you. That's a really good point.
Are the Cakewalk people doing okay though? Because I know that most of you, I think, are mostly starting out with this.
On Reaper, it's working fine. I can also just drag and drop it in onto Reaper.
Okay, great. You know what? I'm not even going to use this one. I'm going to find a different one. All right, I'm going to give you another like 30 seconds, and then I'm going to pull you back into Eric land.
I've got a question, Eric.
Yes.
After we drag and drop, we push it all the way over to the left, which is in GarageBand is the beginning of the piece. Is that what you're intending, or do you want us to put it somewhere else?
Yeah, towards the beginning is good. I like to leave a little space between the very beginning because I might want a pickup measure or two.
Okay.
But the great thing about a DAW is that you can always shift things around. But I like to leave a little space at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's my preference.
And I came up with, I came up with audio 1, which is nothing. It's not the, so I'm not sure. I have a track 1 and a track 2. And when I hit track 2, it's the loop, and it doesn't show up in the same color. It's the best way to describe it. I've got audio 1, and then audio 2, I guess, is the is this loop thing.
And it's in a different color.
Yeah.
Usually MIDI will be one color. MIDI are software instruments, and then audio will be a different color.
So I can get rid of the first track, is what you're saying. Really.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I'm actually going to do that right now.
Oh, great, thank you.
Okay, so let's just go back wherever you are, pause and come back to me for a second. So here I chose Mysterious Synth. Okay, it sounds like this. Let me know if you can hear this. Okay, so that's all it is. What's the first thing I can do with a loop? What's almost the intent of this?
Repeat.
Nathan. Repeat it. Right. So what I can do is I can copy it. And most DAWs are just going to they're going to use copy and paste the way that you use it in a word processor.
Oh, got it.
So I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to go to the next bar, paste, boom. Now I have this is why it's called a loop, because it's just going to repeat and repeat and repeat. There are certain DAWs that are built around loops specifically. I'm doing a more kind of handmade version of it, which I kind of prefer. as like a sort of songwriter composer type person, but there are certain DAWs that let you like really streamline the process. But I think this is a good visual representation. Okay, so I have a loop. I created a loop. Easy, right? What else can I do with this as it is, with this audio? What's another basic way I can manipulate it?
I don't know.
Put
I
reverb on it.
can. What? Go ahead, Josiah.
Put reverb or other adjustments in your sound effect file on.
So I can do that. That is actually more what I will address on Wednesday, which are more adding effects to the sound. I'm going to take this sound file and I'm going to like manipulate it in ways, and then I'll add effects on it later. But right now I'm sort of like composing using this. Here's what I would do. I noticed that even though it's one loop, I noticed that there are 4 chords. So here's the first one. Here's the second one. Here's the third one. Here's the fourth one. Right? Guess what I can do? I can go to where each of those are English, and I'm going to cut them into little pieces. Much like you would on a, I don't know, like it's a piece of paper. I can take these and I can spread them out. It's like a sandwich or something. It's not like a sandwich. I don't know what that means.
Like cheese.
But check it out. It's like what?
Cheese.
Yes, it's like cheese.
Slicing the cheese. Got it.
So I took this loop, I cut it into pieces, and now I have that one. I have that one. I have that one, and I have. Okay, so with this loop, now I can make, even though it came as a pre-recorded thing, I can now take it and make it a whole different chord progression. So let me see what I'm feeling. What if I had it go like, so before I do anything, I'm now going to be doing variations of cutting and also copying. This is where I think the meat and potatoes of this looping business comes, okay? So watch what I do here for a minute and then go back to your loop and try cutting it up into pieces and moving it around and kind of taking this pre-recorded thing and try making it your own thing, okay? So right now I'm feeling kind of like a so I'm gonna find, I want it to stop there. One thing I do also is I make lots of duplicate tracks so then I can keep all my pieces, and if I mess around with anything, I can always come back to it. Okay? I always, like, sometimes I'll be like this. I have all my stuff just like all spread out. Don't be afraid to make duplicate tracks. It doesn't take up that much processing
How did you
power.
make a duplicate track? What did you do?
In Logic, I hit Command D, and I believe in GarageBand it should be the same thing. But you can literally just go up to track and make new tracks.
Got it. All right.
So just make a few of them. It feels like I'm sort of like stretching out, you know? Like instead of like just working on this one little track, I'm like, oh no, I got an 8x8, you know, like a chessboard grid that I can like, I'll throw this over here, throw that over there. I'll throw this up over here. I'll throw that over there. It's like my desktop or something. It doesn't, the fact that this is a time-based thing doesn't matter so much yet. So like, I'll literally be like, meh, that just goes over there. It's over there on my desk now. Okay, so I know I want this to stop here, and then I want a little bit of this chord. So I'm going to put that there. And then I want this to repeat, actually. So
How do you cut?
how do you cut?
Yeah.
So look up how to split something. You highlight it, this thing is called a playhead, and you bring it to wherever you want it to be cut. And in Logic, you hit Command T, like that. And then it just snips it. But
In Reaper, you just press the S key.
What do you know? It does anyone in Cakewalk know how to split things apart?
GarageBand's the same way as Logic in that.
Cool. You hear that, Randall? So it's Command T for GarageBand.
Thank you.
I'm not hearing anything from my Cakewalkers.
I mean, you can just like right click and then open the menu and you can split it, but I don't know what the key shortcut would be for that.
Okay, so but you can like, is it a right click?
Yeah.
Okay. AJ and Sam, you just right click on it while it's highlighted. Okay, so this is what my thing sounds like right now. Okay, that's kind of what I was feeling. I want to hear it one more time. Yeah, I want this one. Okay, this is kind of what I was hearing. It might be a rip off of like a hip hop song or something, but okay, so that's my loop right now. That's my harmonic base of my loop. I'm going to let everyone take a minute or two and try to cut things apart on your own recording. And I'm going to stop screen sharing for the moment. And does anyone have questions? Is anyone confused about what we're doing here? How we're doing it? I'll take that as a no, that everyone is.
I just wanted to say, so I noticed that when you cut them apart like that and put them back together, there was a bit of a pop in between each part.
Yes.
Like it wasn't fully smoothing over itself. It was like in between each part that you sort of stitched together.
Yes.
It's sort of a harsh transition. It's not smooth.
Here, do you want me to acknowledge that or talk about that?
Oh, I don't know. If maybe you're planning on talking about it later.
I was, but so I'm going to zoom in here. Xander's exactly right. He's talking about these clicks and these pops that are between these kind of cut up samples. And the reason that is because it's not a natural continuous noise. So if we zoom in to the waveform here, where is it? Where are you? Okay. So right here, see how these waves go up and down and up and down and boop. This is not natural. This is not how this is not how sound works. Okay? This one's actually pretty good, this top one. Do you see how it kind of keeps the thing going? There is a way to smooth these things over, and it is called a crossfade. So this is getting a little complex, but let me show you pretty quick. Don't worry, or really fast. Don't worry about it. It looks something like this. And what it does is it takes this volume here, and once it gets to this point, this track actually starts getting turned down until it's turned all the way down over here. And then this track here, at this point, it starts getting turned up here. So they it's called a crossfade for that exact reason. One starts getting turned down while one gets turned up to create a sort of seamless transition. It doesn't work all the time, but I'm going to apply some other crossfades on here, and we'll see if it fixes anything. Yeah, now the pops are gone. Do you notice that, Xander?
It's a little hard to tell with the Zoom share audio and my computer speakers, but it sounded better, definitely.
Yes. Okay, cool. In my headphones, I don't hear any snaps or pops or anything. But that is not anything you need to worry about for right now. But those are called crossfades. All right. While people are still working, does anyone want to share what they're making? What their thing sounds like so far?
Sure.
Yeah?
I've just done a loop. I can't figure out how to cut it. I've just
Well,
got-
I'll help you
It's
out.
Command T.
I'll help you
Just
out.
Command T and put it
Command
down.
T. Oh, I was doing Apple T. Sorry. Thank you. Well, that is Apple T. It's not working for me.
Are you well, here, share your screen. Show us what you have.
Alrighty. That's what I have right now. Hold on a second. I'm going to add sound. There we go. Boom. Here we go.
I can't hear anything right now. I can't hear anything, Randall.
Okie doke. It's really loud in my head. So let me see what I'm not doing right.
Well, okay. Before you do it,
Yeah.
when you try to do Command T, is the thing you're cutting up highlighted?
Well, let's see.
So
I'm
click on it,
there.
and now click above the letter E.
E. Okay.
Sure, yeah, do that. So now you have the thing highlighted, and now click there, and now hit Command. There you go.
Now what's that do? Okay. That's just taking that thing and literally cutting it right there.
Yeah, it's like you're snipping apart little pieces of tape.
Got it. All right. I understand that.
There you go.
There we go. Oh, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Oh, there we go.
Does anyone want to share anything? Someone please share what you've made so far. Anybody?
I can share.
Okay.
X.
Can Nathan share his screen, Randall?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Is there a click going on in the background?
I can't
and
hear
also,
your sound.
Yeah, you need to go into your hit like Command comma,
Command, comma. Yes.
and then you need to go into audio settings, audio preferences or whatever, and you need to turn your output device to Zoom audio device, or else it won't play it to the screen share.
Right here.
So
Go
audio
into
MIDI
audio.
at the up in the top left corner of that window. Audio
Yep.
MIDI.
Audio, and then output device. That needs to be Zoom audio device.
Fantastic. That's really
And then
helpful.
change your input device back to what it was before.
Built-in microphone, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, now
And then
I'll go back here, hit this. Do you hear the click?
Yes. Yep.
Now I've just put them in different tracks. I could go like this and say, oh, I want to go like here, and I'm going to put this over here. Oops.
Bingo.
Like that.
Yes, exactly.
Got it.
you'll also need to change your output device back to what it was once you stop sharing.
Thank you. Appreciate that. That would be just frustrating enough that I would be complaining a lot, but okay, I get it.
Nathan, can you share your screen?
Let me get out of here.
I can't. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, so I use the same one.
Nice. Nice.
That's what I got.
Very cool. Anyone else? Tim, what do you have?
I have a thing, and I'm still kind of working on putting it all in the main thing.
Do you want us to come back to you maybe?
No, I can do it right now. I just finished.
Cool.
It's a very small thing. So this is the loop thing here, and I just made a short little bass line that probably doesn't even sound that good over it. And
Great.
yeah. No.
Great. Okay, I noticed that you changed the BPM,
Yes.
correct? And you grabbed a
Yeah.
drum sample, one of the percussion ones.
Yeah, I did a drum loop.
Very cool. Okay, awesome.
Can we copy these little snippets and
Oh,
repeat
yeah.
them over again? Okay.
Oh, yes. Yes.
All right. Right.
So right now it's just splitting apart, moving and copying and pasting, and repeat ad nauseum. How about Max? Do you have anything yet? No?
Not really, no.
All right. AJ, do you have anything going?
I forgot to unmute myself. Maybe.
Maybe?
Nothing really.
Let's hear it.
Do you have is it making noise?
So when I tried to download the tracks, it wasn't speaking with Cakewalk, so I had to move them into a new folder, and so I'm just kind of.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still adding tracks and trying to figure out. I figured out how to split them.
Okay, cool. If anyone gets too far behind, because just the nature of us doing this, some of us are gonna do it faster, some of us slower. Don't worry about keeping up and like scrambling as we move on to other things. Okay, like if don't get stressed out by this at all. It's just fun to have the thing open and to work on it if you can while we're doing this. But there's other stuff I want to get to, so don't stress at all. But I'm gonna keep moving on. I'm gonna share my screen again. Thank you for everyone sharing, and thank you for everyone participating here. I hope you're learning some new stuff, at least how to navigate. Okay, so a great thing about loops is since they're all the same, at least these all kind of came as the same, they literally came at the exact same speed. I can grab any other one of these and just throw it on here, and it should line up just because it has the same BPM, the same tempo. So I just dragged in a drum machine and I'm throwing it on top of my mysterious synth. That's a goofy drum. I don't want that one. I want something that has a little more meat to it. How about? Oh yeah, that's what I want. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste this. I noticed that there are like little bits and pieces here, like I like that. I actually like it going boom, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum. I actually just want to take that part. So what's nice about drums, snip that. I'm going to put that at the beginning, and then I'm going to copy it, and I'm just going to have this playing over and over. Oh, and maybe, do you hear this little thing here? Whoops. What? There's a little tss. I kind of want that again. So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to put it right there. So let's hear how this sounds. This is all just from the one loop. And I already kind of have something that sounds a little different just from the one loop. And then I know that some of you are like, whoa, what's going on? What's happening? Let me just show you. I'm just going to grab little bits and pieces. So a kick drum is that low one, the boom. So the snare is snare. I want to grab one of these kick drums, which is this low look sound thing, I'm going to grab that and I want to make a little drum fill with it. So I grabbed it here. Here it is. And I'm just going to repeat it. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to put that at the beginning. So now, here's what my drums sound like. And then maybe I'll have that thing again. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so that's what's kind of fun about drums. You can just grab like little parts and just like toss them wherever you want them. Make little drum fills and all that kind of cool stuff. So what I would recommend right now, if you have your harmonic stuff going on, try grabbing a drum thing and pull it in. Try snipping it and moving it around. The way I like to think of this is literally just like, what can we do with an audio file? What can we do with sound? And it's tricky because you're not visually able to see it. I mean, we can see the waveform here, but recognizing like, ooh, I like how this chord sounds. Ooh, I like how this little thing, I don't know, I like the shape of this little piece of it. What if I moved that little piece and put it at the beginning? What if I took the low part and put it at the end? So it's a lot of trial and error, and it's a lot of like zeroing in on the little pieces that you like and then putting them in different order. We're going to take a break from the DAW right now. I'm going to show you, who here has heard of Jay Dilla before? I hope some of you have. Nathan has.
What was the
Heard
question?
the name, not heard the music.
There's a musician named Jay Dilla. Anyway, he is a hip hop producer. He died tragically of like a rare disease when he was a little older than me, but he's really amazing. So what he does is he has like this encyclopedic, what is that? Encyclopedic musical brain.
Encyclopedic, yeah, encyclopedic. Yeah.
I wish I had a more dictionary-ic version of a brain, but
A thesauric.
a thesauric, that's much better.
Yeah.
Thank you. But what he would do is he would find bits and pieces of music that he loved, and he would pull them in and layer them on top of each other and make something entirely new from stuff that he didn't technically ever create. But he turned it into a whole new style that was own thing. The legality of this is very tricky. So the samples that I gave you are all legal to use. You can use them however you want because they just come with GarageBand. There are no royalties associated with them. If you went on YouTube and downloaded a YouTube video that was someone else's and you started cutting it up and moving around the music, and then you might get in legal trouble if you put that out and start making money from it, because they'll want that and they'll be like, no, you didn't make that, I made that. But by all means, honestly, do this on your own. You can take any MP3 file at all, pull it into your DAW, mess around with it, be inspired by it. I just wouldn't recommend you put it out and try to make money from it, because then you will get in trouble. But by all means, explore it. It's really fun. You'll find whole new ways of making music. I think that's the best part about looping and sampling in general. You'll make stuff you would never have discovered before. Even if it's not your like main mode of making music, you'll still discover something new every time. Okay, so I'm going to play this song called Lightworks off of Donuts. This is an example of prime sample usage.
This is Bendix, the Tomorrow People.
What is the magic that makes one's eyes sparkle and gleam, light up the skies? The name these light works.
Listen up. Listen up.
Shine is that sparkling beam. The name of the game is Lightworks. Light up the slips. The name of the game is Lightworks.
So you get the idea. Pretty interesting. I don't know if anyone would ever like compose that like out of their, you know, they audiate it and they imagine it in their mind. I don't know. I think you have to discover something like that. That's my thought, at least. Okay, so let's go back to this. I hope I'm not moving along too fast for everyone. You can always revisit this video. So the main three things so far that we've talked about, you got your loop, you can move it around, you can copy it, and you can cut it into pieces, right? That's what you can do, and you can do that with any audio track. I'm going to show you 3 more ways of manipulating audio. And Josiah was talking about adding reverb. There are a lot of things. You can add reverb, you can add distortion, you can add delay. There's a bajillion things. Those I would call more effects. Right now, we're literally just taking the audio, the dry audio file. We're doing things to it. So I'm going to show you a few more that are a little more advanced. And I think they'll be fun to mess with melodies, because right now we have some percussion, we have our drums here, and we have our harmony. So let's go into our melody. And you all help me out here. Which one do you think I should play first? I'll play the flute one so you can hear what it sounds like, but then help me choose which one, okay? Okay, it's a pretty sparse thing. It's kind of fun to use these sparse things because so much is already going on that pulling in like little tiny, you know, you don't want everything like beefed out the whole time. You want just like a little sprinkle here, a little sprinkle there. So that one's kind of cool. Let's listen to this whistling. Okay, super short. Okay. Let's check out this. What do you think? What should I pick? Doesn't matter.
That spooky synth would go really well with the mysterious synth, but the whistling could also be funny.
Okay.
I like the strings one too.
Strings one? I didn't even play the strings one. But let's listen to it. That one might be a little too involved at this point to use. Let's take the whistling one because it might be funny. And let's take, I think the flute could actually be kind of cool. Let's do that. Okay, so right now, if we just listen to these the whistling. I'm going to copy it so we can hear what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like all together. It's going to be bizarre. Okay, that doesn't really work, does it? Not super well. So one thing that we can do here, and it's sort of a blend between an effect and I don't know what this would be called. It's not an effect necessarily, but what we can do is we can pitch shift something. So I'm just going to use a basic plugin over here. So I highlighted my whistling track. I'm going to go over to my audio effects, and down here, these are all stock plugins. Plugins are effects that you put on a track. I'm going to go down to pitch. Oh, and stock means that they just come with Logic. I think GarageBand has a lot of these too. I'm not sure. I think Reaper should have some built-in stuff. FL Studio definitely would. Cakewalk, I'm not sure, but there's free stuff you can download. But anyway, so I'm going to grab Pitch Shifter. Ignore all this stuff over here. But right now, the semitones and the cents are just standard. So it sounds like this. But if I start turning it up, what if we went low? Okay, so what we can do is we can just listen to this against our loop right now and figure out what is it, where does it sound good? Let's see. I think that actually is where it kind of fits in. A lot of trial and error here. That's kind of a good thing about looping. It's a lot of discovery is what I would call it. Okay, so we have our low whistle. We're already kind of doing something else with it. Let's see if we can, I think it's a little too fast though. So I'm going to do a different thing. What do you think we could do? Well, I'll just tell you. We can literally stretch it. Did you know you could do that?
No.
You can stretch sound. If we can stretch sound, what else can we do?
Crunch it, make it tighter.
Yeah, we can squish it.
That's it. That's the word.
So let's squish it. What does this sound like? This is going to sound bad. I already know it. Already we know that's not what we want. But I kind of liked a stretched out thing. Let's see if we can grab, now that it's stretched out, now we can go back to our original thing. We can cut it up. We can move it around. We can copy it. You know, it's these things kind of compound on them. And these are your little tools to cut and paste and manipulate audio in a, you should, at this point, you should probably be like, whoa, what can't we do with audio at this point, right? What can't you do? Okay. Honestly, I'm not sure I'm going to like how this is going to turn out, but let's just try something here. We're going to take this. I think I just like this. I don't even think it's going to be a melody. I think we're just going to take this and kind of have it do a thing. Yeah. Ooh, do you know what else is fun? Right now, this is kind of locked onto one pitch, right? If we made another track and moved it, everything that's on this track is going to be that same pitch, but I can create multiple tracks. Again, do not be afraid to mash that duplicate track button. and we can change the pitch of this one to be, I don't even know what. Let's try this. I'm guessing, literally guessing. So in a way, we could probably make a melody here. I don't even want to think about it right now. Okay, so we stretched it. We pitch shifted it. What's another thing we can do with sound now that you're like, whoa, what can we do? We squished it, we stretched it, we cut it into pieces, we copied it, we moved them around.
I'm going to let you guys talk.
What do you think? Think about, and honestly, think classical. What's a common thing done with counterpoint? What if we
playing things backwards?
Yeah, what if we turned it around? What if we reversed it? That's totally possible. So let's take you know what? Let's take this mysterious synth. Oh, I think I'm going to have to bring in a whole new reversing things is kind of weird in Logic because I think it reverses every what was it? It reverses like every
parameter.
Yeah. So if I reversed one of these, it would reverse all of these,
Mm-hmm.
even though I just highlighted that one. So I'm going to see, hopefully this works. So let's see if we can reverse this thing. File, this is a little complex. Functions. Okay. Oh, you know what? It basically sounds the same for this.
It does, because there's a tremolo. Yeah.
What should we reverse? Should we pick something else to reverse? What would be... Let's pick... Let's... Reversed piano sometimes sounds pretty cool. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to bring our piano in here. We're going to do the same thing.
How are you reversing it?
So in Logic, there's like some DAWs make it easier than others. In Logic, I have to click on it, go to File, go to Functions, and it's like
it's more
just snuck in there.
Yeah.
So this isn't, and I know every DAW has the ability to do this. I think it's just a little more involved, but it is still a possibility. So let's listen to what this sounds like.
Cool.
It's pretty cool. Let me, I'm just going to think about, let me get reacquainted with what my harmony is here. I think that's cool. This little descending thing. So let's take this.
7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 3, 1. In a minor.
Yeah. Let's see what this sounds like. That whistling is...
Yeah.
I think that's actually nicer because this can be a little grating after a while.
After a while.
So so now I have like a little bit more of a chord progression. And you know what? I'm gonna take a note from Soviet Russia's playbook, and I'm gonna add a bass, and it might sound a little bit more like a proper beat. So what I'm doing right now is I'm grabbing a software instrument, and I'm gonna throw this on here, and you're gonna notice that it's gonna look different because it's gonna look like, it's not gonna look like this audio here. So I started recording MIDI information here.
So you're using a keyboard for this?
Yes, right now I'm literally using this. But you know what? Almost every DAW has something that I will use instead that looks like this. For you Logic users or GarageBand users, you can pull this thing up. And it literally corresponds to your. So we're almost done here. Thanks for coming along on this journey. And we're gonna just add a little bass here. Oh. Let's try again. Yeah, I hear you. No import. There, now I have a beat. I'm gonna do a little thing to it quick. Quantize it. Bring our whistling back in. Worthless. A worthless addition. But you know, we discover things. Okay, so the thing is, we're wrapping up here. We're done. But this kind of stuff, I know that I'm like making a beat, and it sounds like it'd be a rap song or a pop song or something you'd hear in the background of a commercial or something. But I feel like this applies especially to composers. I think that you could do amazingly creative stuff with this. I don't think that it has to be, you don't have to have it be on a grid. You don't have to have it be to a set tempo. You can take any sound and stretch it and squish it and flip it around and chop it up. I think there's huge potential to make really cool sounding stuff that you probably would never notate in MuseScore. So I would really encourage you to explore this. So let's just go over all the things that we talked about. What can we do? We can copy things. We can move things around. We can cut them into pieces. We can copy those pieces and move them around. And then we can copy those and anyway. Then we can stretch things. We can squish things. We can reverse things. We can flip them around. We can pitch shift. We can just take a piece of audio and just move it up or move it down. And this is all using raw audio, meaning that we haven't even added effects yet. Okay? So, yeah, Randall.
We could also record acoustically whatever instrument we play and create tracks that are acoustic and do all of the things you just talked about.
Exactly.
We don't have to take pre-recorded other people's work. We can make our own. For a hi-hat sound, you could use spray, an aerosol spray,
Yeah.
and record that if you can stand the smell. But there's all kinds of sounds that you have, you could just literally go.
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
turn that into the sound that you're recording. So there's other sounds that concrete sounds. That's a French word for concrete. That we could make our own beats, we can make our own sounds, and then stretch them, put them in reverse, do all kinds of things with them, as you just said.
Yeah, exactly. And most of you have a very useful tool in your pocket that you carry everywhere you go. You can just pull up a voice memo, hear like a cool bird chirping in the trees or something, record it, email it to yourself, download it, throw it into your DAW. You're sampling a bird that you just walked by. Or you can take a voicemail that your mom left you. You can do anything.
This past summer, Sam did some violin sounds. Sam, were you manipulating those sounds as well when you were creating pieces? So they were modified in a significant way. They weren't just violin sounds. They were all kinds of special effects were put on top of them, processing the sound. So that's something as well. The acoustic people who've got instruments, the piano lick that Eric just turned around and did backwards, you could play something on the piano and manipulate it in all kinds of ways, and do a recording and then start clipping it. Cool.
Something to explore.
It is 8:04.
Yeah.
I will take the recorder off if you want to just keep going with this session and not go to a new Zoom session. Just keep the session right here. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, great.